I was 17 the night the world changed, at least for me. It was just another evening, gray, rainy, and dull. I lay in bed, eyes fixed on my phone, mind drowning in short videos and noise. I had homework, but ignored it. I had dreams, but they felt distant. I wanted something more, but I didn't know what. That night, I closed my eyes, not because I was tired, but because I was empty. When I opened them again, I was not in my bed. I stood in a glowing tunnel, high above a city I didn't recognize. The buildings were enormous and bright, their surfaces moving like water. Some floated. The sky wasn't dark, it shimmered in purple and gold, like an endless sunset. I looked around, confused. No bed, no phone, no shoes. Just me, standing in silence. Then a voice spoke, not loud, but everywhere, as if the air itself was speaking. Welcome, it said. You've arrived in the year 2099. I turned, startled. A figure approached. It looked like a person, but not quite. Its body glowed softly, its eyes were stars. I am Ellen, the figure said. Your guide. I couldn't speak. I wasn't afraid, but I was overwhelmed. Ellen raised a hand, and suddenly we floated into the air, gently like leaves caught in a breeze. Is this real? I asked. Ellen turned its glowing head toward me. That depends. What you see is real. Whether you remember it is your choice. The city beneath us moved without sound. No cars, no smoke, just long walking paths, trees that glowed with light, and people moving calmly, some walking, some gliding along invisible currents of air. Where's the traffic? The noise? I asked. Gone, Ellen said. Humans replaced machines with light. Solar energy powers everything now. Noise is no longer the price of progress. We landed in a wide plaza surrounded by living walls, plants climbing buildings, flowers blooming from balconies. A group of children sat in a circle, learning. But there were no blackboards, no desks. Some wrote by drawing in the air with their fingers, letters glowing and moving like fish in water. Some danced. Others sat quietly, eyes closed. No exams? I asked. No fear, Ellen replied. Here, children learn because they are curious, not because they are punished. I looked closer. The children weren't bored. They were alive, smiling, asking questions, playing with ideas like they were toys. I didn't understand this kind of school. We measure growth, not numbers, Ellen added, as if reading my thoughts. We moved again, through gardens in the sky, through buildings made of glass that cleaned the air. I saw bees flying through giant parks, people planting vegetables on rooftops. In every direction, the world was green, quiet, and slow. Why does it feel peaceful? I asked. Because they are not afraid, Ellen said. No one here is hungry. No one is ignored. They worked hard to build this. But how? I whispered. We always say people can't change. People change, Ellen said, but usually too late. This time, they acted just in time. We floated to a quiet dome filled with trees and birds. This used to be a battlefield, Ellen explained. Now it's a place to heal. Then I saw something that made my heart stop. A black wall stretching across the edge of the dome covered in names. What's that? I asked. A memorial, Ellen said. The names of those who said, it's not my problem. The ones who chose comfort over courage. The ones who watched but didn't act. My stomach turned. I walked closer. My hands shook. Ellen placed a hand on my shoulder. You were almost on this wall. Me? I breathed. Yes. You are still deciding. I wanted to argue, but I couldn't. Then Ellen showed me three things. The first was a classroom where every child had a voice, where no one was left behind. The second was a global map, climate restored, forests returned, oceans calm again. We almost lost it all, Ellen said. But action came, just in time. The third was a mirror. I looked inside and saw myself, older, alone, regretful. I stood in a room full of screens, watching a younger version of myself do nothing. This is one future, Ellen said. The one where you ignore what you saw. Then the mirror changed. I saw myself smiling, standing in a field, surrounded by students. I was teaching. I was alive. And this, Ellen said, is another. The lights began to fade. Wait, I shouted. Will I remember any of this? If you choose to, Ellen said. What if I fail? You will, Ellen said. Sometimes. But failure is not the end. Only stopping is. The world dissolved into starlight. Then black. I woke up. Rain on the window. Phone beside me, battery dead. But my chest still glowing with something I didn't have before. I sat up. I didn't scroll. I didn't go back to sleep. I opened a notebook and wrote 3 words. Clean, learn, change. Not because I had to, because I had seen what the world could become. And now I had to help build it. I don't know who you are, where you live, or how many times you've tried and failed to study English. But if you've made it this far, reading, listening, feeling, that already says something powerful about you. You care. And you're still trying. This story, when I woke up in the year 2099, wasn't just fiction. It was a mirror, a reminder, a gentle question whispered into your mind. What kind of future are you building with the choices you make today? And if you're reading this, then one of your choices is to learn, to grow, to reach beyond your current self. That's where everything begins. Let me tell you a truth that most people ignore. Learning is the only real superpower we have. Money can be lost. Looks will fade. Even strength disappears. But learning? It compounds. It builds. It transforms. You can be born poor in a small house in a forgotten corner of the world and still become someone powerful, someone respected, someone whose words move others if you keep learning. And there's one kind of learning that opens more doors than any other. Learning a new language, especially English. Now, I'm not saying English is better than your language. Not at all. Your mother tongue is sacred. But English is global. It is the bridge between continents. It is the passport to knowledge. Over 90% of scientific research, international communication, global business, and higher education materials are in English. But here's the truth nobody told you. Learning English is not just about learning grammar. It's about learning how to think differently. It's about seeing the world with new eyes. It's about being able to read the dreams of others and finally write your own. Think about this when you understand English, you don't need translations anymore. You're not waiting for someone else to explain the world to you. You can explore it yourself. You can read what the scientists are saying. You can listen to what the thinkers are discussing. You can understand the stories the world is telling. You can speak up. You can be heard. And in a world like the one in our story, a world changing faster than ever, a world full of AI, automation, digital borders, and invisible ceilings, language is no longer just a skill. It's survival. Now, let me tell you a more personal truth. Most people quit not because they're lazy. They quit because they can't see progress. They quit because they're waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Let me be honest with you. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. You don't need to study for 5 hours a day. You just need to do a little, but every day. 5 words today. 1 sentence tomorrow. A short story next week. A voice message next month. Small steps, quiet progress. That's how you become fluent. That's how you become someone you respect. Some of you reading this feel ashamed. You're 30, 40, maybe 60. You. Try to learn English 10 times before. You forgot everything. You think it's too late. Let me say this clearly. It's not too late. It's too quiet. That voice inside you, the one that says, maybe I could try again, it's still alive. Don't silence it. Don't kill the dream just because you're tired. Rest and then return. And if you're young, reading this, and still unsure why learning matters, let me offer you this thought. The world you're walking into is not the same world your parents lived in. You won't be judged by how strong you are, but by how clearly you think, how well you speak, and how quickly you can learn. Every opportunity in the future will belong to those who know how to learn. Not just pass exams, not just memorize answers, but actually learn. And English, my friend, is the key that opens the world. At Tailcrafter English, we don't teach English like a cold, dead subject. We craft stories. We build mirrors. We give you windows into other lives, other times, other futures. Because language isn't about perfect grammar. It's about connection. It's about empathy. It's about unlocking the version of yourself you've always wanted to become. So no matter where you are in your journey, just starting, halfway there, or starting again for the 10th time, keep going. Your brain is ready. Your future is waiting. Your story is still being written. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, someone will hear you speak, or read your words, or listen to your story in English and say, that inspired me. And when that happens, you'll know you've arrived. Keep learning. Keep dreaming. Keep building the world only you can build.